Hi guys, welcome back to the Heel Podcast. This week we're talking about what's happened in the last month, covering NXT Takeover XXX, sounds dodgy, and Summerslam from Sunday night. So I think we'll probably start off with NXT as a whole, what's happened in the last month. Anything that's really caught your eye this last month, lads, before we get into Takeover?
I mean, I guess that's anything that we actually want to speak about. Because obviously there's been a few things that we're not going to touch. But
yeah,
I think the whole qualifying for the... I mean, I don't want to go too far into what's going on with NXT because it's more about what's happening in the future now as opposed to what's already happened because of who's won what. And
yeah,
like the whole landscape of NXT changed on Saturday. Like it just did. And again on Sunday, actually, but we'll get to that as well.
Yeah.
I think the safe bet to talk about for before the pay-per-view would be the build-up to the North American ladder match, North American title ladder match, and obviously the qualifying sessions that they were doing, triple threat matches, and then Dexter Lumis got taken out because he had an ankle injury due to his match with Timothy Thatcher. And then Timothy Thatcher got a second chance, but then lost, as did Finn Balor, which is why they ended up having their match.
Yeah.
There's been, like, every match that was on the card was pretty well structured, well built, and there was a reason for it.
Well, that's the thing. It was noticeable that the lad's been giving me a lot of stick because I haven't watched bugger all wrestling this month. Bar this weekend. But looking at the results and the things that have gone on, everything has built up to Saturday night, to Takeover, which is quite a nice relief. Like, there's nothing that was really happening on NXT that hasn't spilled over onto to Takeover. It's all had a purpose.
And it's what I liked about it. It's give with those triple threat matches and the build up to qualification to the ladder match, you've seen a lot more people start to shine.
Yeah,
and a lot of people started to step up, and it's got me interested in quite a few different people. I didn't think I would.
Yeah.
Just because I've got to see them a bit more. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, even someone like Bronson Reed, I don't think I'd have looked twice at him personally.
No.
He was interesting. I still don't understand why he looked at that guy's nuts. I just can't.
Yeah, went onto the ladder.
It was weird. But yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. But yeah, he's someone that you wouldn't have expected to be in that position, I guess. That was so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely put people forward that we weren't used to, weren't known to the NXT universe, I guess, because it is a development brand. There are new people coming through because obviously people are also leaving.
Yeah, well, just going on to that ladder match, what I noticed that you had Dream and Gargano, who you could say were probably there a year and a half ago. Then it was really only Damian Priest was the other one that was even anywhere near sort of anything. And even then, that was sort of, he was only just making a name a year and a half ago. Yeah. And so it was nice that actually it almost has that whole new vibe feel to the entire of that match.
Yeah, well, I mean, who did we end up with in that match? So there was Bronson Reed, Dream,
Cameron Grimes, Gargano, and Priest.
Cameron Grimes, Priest, Gargano. So yeah, it is literally two guys that have been pretty well built in the last couple of months, which is Priest and Grimes.
Yeah.
Who were, by the way, our predictions as well.
Yeah.
Two guys that are very well established in him and Gargano. And then Bronson Reed. It's just he was definitely, for me anyway, he was a bit of a sore thumb.
Yeah. I think he'll be the one though that we'll go again. We'll be like, we'll talk a year down the line, and actually we'll be like, oh, he was like that. He was like Damian Priest was. So he'll be the one that's actually could be claiming the NXT North American Championship within a
Yeah,
year's
I
time.
completely see that.
This is why I prefer NXT, because instead of having those main core guys and girls that you're building the whole thing around, like they do in Raw and SmackDown, you have those certain few. Raw's NXT, you're getting those people just push up constantly.
Yeah,
I mean, we went through a stale period with NXT, and I think it's only recently ended because it was we circled around the Gargano Ciampa thing for so long.
The problem with that they had, though, I think, was the fact that in the past they've always had, say, like 3 or 4 people that have gone from they've sort of been developmental up to the mid card, up to the top of NXT, then they've gone up. The problem is that you've had Adam Cole, you've had Gargano, you've had Ciampa, just as those 3. They didn't go up, and that almost made it stale because there was wasn't the progression hadn't gone.
Yeah. You're kind of getting people being pushed up to their level now instead of...
Yeah,
which is brilliant for me.
Yeah.
I'm surpassing them as well in places like Keith Lee was.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Completely. And Keith Lee's phenomenal. So we just had a quick run through of the show. Won't go through it match by match. Of course, Breezango are now the new #1 contenders for the tag championships. Happy to see that. To be fair, they look happier on NXT, that's for sure. They actually look like they've got a bit more freedom.
They do. They're almost definitely getting squashed by Imperium though. So
yes, agreed.
Like, there's just no point. Imperium have been on and off with the rivalry with the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
So,
which is
it makes no sense for that belt to go to.
No, unless
of course the Undisputed Era cost them, but it doesn't seem like their style. But we'll see.
But unless other people end up moving in any upcoming drafts or anything else happens. So then, first of the night was Finn versus Timothy Thatcher. That was an okay match. Wasn't standout. It was okay.
Look, Finn put on great matches in the day, and I don't know what it was, but he came up to the main roster. He had that initial boost where he obviously won the Universal. He got lost for so long after that.
Yeah.
And slowly just crept down and down and down and down, and now it's just like.
I think almost there's a bit of me that wants Finn to actually step away and come up with something new, because the Demon was quality. And if he could, I think he could do something different and come up with something that potentially is even better than that.
I mean, there's only so many times you can do that without that starting getting a bit stale every time. For me.
Yeah.
That's why, it needs a bit of a revamp.
Yeah, it just needs something.
It isn't terrible, but it's just. Who cares?
The thing is, you've got that with Bray, and nothing's going to beat that for me at the minute. So I don't want to see the Demon King constantly, because it's going to be a cheaper version of Bray to me.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but Finn did it first.
But I think no one will top what Bray's doing.
Although,
with that kind of...
by all reports, that it was Bray actually had the idea before Finn, the Demon King, was even an idea. Like he had it almost back in Husky Harris days, that he's done a few interviews on. Have you not seen the interviews?
But Finn did it on the Indies.
No, in WWE I'm talking.
Well, yeah, but Finn used to do matches all the time on the Indies. It's like he came out as all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Just something different. A bit like Jeff could throw his hand into something different, like with the Willow character, and just random bits and pieces. I wouldn't mind seeing Finn do something like
big
that.
Madness.
Yeah.
Something you'll never see coming.
Yeah.
We'll get on to that one. So then, obviously, we have the ladder match. Damian Priest won. Probably, I think, the correct person to win. I think that's probably.
Nah, do you know what? I'd have agreed with you. But then he got into a hot tub wearing leather pants and destroyed that belt.
Yes,
so,
I forgot that was a thing. Yeah. Damian Priest.
Cameron Grimes can be the title.
Yeah.
The champion.
I've got to mention about Gargano's spot on that ladder spot though. That was nuts.
Oh, it was. I was saying to you, Pete, it was one of the most smoothest spots WWE have seen for a long time. The fact that he actually caught the edge of the ladder was worse. It was like it was more painful. But if he'd actually centered it, which I think was always planned, then it would have looked so clean.
Yeah, you'd hope it was planned.
Well, you hope. Yeah. You hope. But would have looked so clean. But otherwise, that was, again, a solid match, wasn't it?
It was. It was a good match.
We'll move on. Match of the weekend? Match of the weekend, I think I'd say now. Adam Cole, Pat McAfee.
Yeah, really.
I think...
Can I just say, before we go into this, I was excited for this match before this match. Because I said to you guys beforehand as well, Pat McAfee was a sportsman, like he's a real personality as well.
He's a big boy, a real man.
I've always loved him on the pre-shows and everything, and I thought that he's got an actual personality behind him. And I said to the guys, like, if he can translate his personality into the ring and wrestle as well as he talks, we've got the next Rock and Austin. Like that guy can genuinely be there.
Yeah,
I was really.
I
was really hopeful for that because he knows him and Adam Cole are really good friends. And for Adam Cole to agree to work with him, he must have been good.
Yeah, I still have my doubts. I still have my doubts about it. But yeah, he shut me. We'll have to bleep that.
All right, so his in-ring work. It was solid. I mean, he did things that no one expected. Yeah, there was a lot of high flying in there, which it's not going to be his remit going forwards. It doesn't make sense.
No, I think it was just to show off that he is capable. It was to prove the fact that he is worthy of being in a ring with Adam Cole.
I mean, doing the suplex or superplex.
Yeah.
No fault for that whatsoever. Because we actually saw someone do a superplex the next day, was it? I think
I said
that superplex went awful because they landed on their feet.
Yeah.
The thing is, think who it was.
And for someone who's not supposed to be a wrestler, he looked really safe in the ring as well. Good. There was no massive botches, which you kind of expect when you see a celebrity. You expect a couple of little things. He looked really safe.
Yeah, he looked very safe.
Yeah. There was really no issues, and the fact that there was probably more wrestling in that match. Well, there was more wrestling in that match than the Mysterio Seth Rollins match the next night. I think that says a lot about how much trust they have in him and the potential they actually do see in him. But yeah,
who won? I literally said it as they did the suplex. It's like they just lost their bottle because they landed on their feet.
What in the SummerSlam?
It was who?
MVP.
It might have been actually. That makes sense.
It was MVP, yeah. I remember that.
Also might explain why I don't remember. Can't say I was watching that match. I was talking to our Twitch chat quite a lot, which can also be found in the description. So if you don't come and watch our watch-alongs, we live stream every single pay-per-view on our Twitch. Come and find us.
Look at you, plug.
NXT Women's Championship. Io Shirai, Dakota Kai. Meh. Is
the highlight for me was the end.
Look, it was very meh, but to be honest, let's be fair to them. They followed that match, and that match was great. So
I'd say it was unfair for anyone to follow that match.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Follow a big match that people are excited by. It's always difficult to follow that, especially if you're not quite there. So I think if they'd have flipped the card order, it would have been like a freight train where it just gets better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And I think that Keith Lee and Cross would have actually fed on that in the main event as well and could have actually put on a better show than what they did. But that's just one man's opinion.
Yeah,
we had two big matches before that as well because you had the NXT, you had the North American title as well. So there were two quite big matches.
Yeah,
it was gonna drop down a bit.
A ladder always adds excitement, so you're always watching that, and so it'll always bring down the excitement. And then the fact that Adam Cole and Pat McAfee managed to follow that up as well, I said speaks volumes.
That was like a main event kind of match for me.
Oh yeah, that would have been quite happy in a main event slot.
Yeah. The only thing with the Io Shirai match, that was the only match that we had down as all three of us going the same way. It was one that had to go, I think.
We don't need to talk about predictions.
We definitely do need to talk about predictions, ladies and gentlemen.
And it was really good to see Rhea Ripley come back up.
Yes, forgot that happened. Yeah, Rhea Ripley coming out.
I forgot she was there.
I think that's going to lead on to a bit of a storyline now. The way she was standing there at the end of the match, and it's gonna start again. So that'll be quite good. She'll be pushing for women's titles. So that'd be good to see.
Yeah, for sure. And then we had Keith Lee carrying Cross. I mean, I did say when I gave my predictions on this, I wanted Keith Lee to win, and there was no other reason, but I wanted him to win, so that was my prediction. In theory, carrying Cross was probably predictable that he was going to claim it. They were literally strapped into a rocket, and
well, you've seen the news, right?
Yeah.
What, today?
So he's got a shoulder injury and is probably going to be out for a while.
What, carrying Cross?
I didn't know that.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh,
yeah, himself during the match, and he's probably going to be out for a long time. So it kind of puts a sour taste in the mouth, but that match was great.
No, that's
it was really backward and forwards. It was unpredictable. Once the match started, I really didn't know I was going to get it.
I don't think anybody did, and I think that's some of the beauty of some of the booking that they have over on NXT is that you can never quite be sure of which way they're going to go. Although, to be honest with you, at the moment, I can't be sure about which way anybody's going to go, which is why my predictions are awful. But
I'm making excuses, are we?
I thought I were quite spot on.
I was going to say, I pretty much nailed NXT. Bar the Keith Lee one, I had them all right.
I had a really bad night on NXT. But...
well... beep, 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 beep.
I mean, okay.
It saved you just editing stuff out then.
Wow. Wow. So, as a show, how do we think? What was our opinions of NXT Takeover? I mean, for a start, miles better than In Your House. Absolutely miles. Definitely. In Your House is probably the worst one that they've probably ever done.
It's better than In Your House, so...
I didn't mind it, and I think what made it even better is some of my favourite matches from NXT. There was at least one of my favourite matches now from NXT.
I just really like the fact that there was no doorbells.
Yeah. But overall, it wasn't a bad one. There was a lot of really good moments. Like I said, one of my favourite matches in NXT that I've seen now. So...
Yeah, I do that.
Did you not watch any of the earlier days of NXT? Like NXT Arrival and stuff? Sami Zayn and Cesaro.
Yeah, no, I didn't really watch the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn stuff, Cesaro and that before. I've watched bits and pieces.
Certainly of the last couple of years, it would be...
Right, in the last couple of years, I'll give you a bit. Watch that earlier stuff with Cesaro.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, mate, yeah.
Even Pac back in the day, or Adrian Neville as he was, or whatever. Yeah. Like, some of the earlier stuff in NXT was... Woo!
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, Pete, go and watch it, mate. It's
even some of the Gargano Ciampa matches when they first sort of went at it were just
Well, so there's a reason I do like Gargano so much. So on those, we will have to talk about predictions, I'm afraid, Link. But the good news for you is that after that night, Pete was losing.
I really thought I'd lost.
So going into that, I got all four. The first matches right. Pete predicted the ladder match and Io Shirai, and Link also predicted Karrion Kross, Io Shirai, and Finn Balor match. So it was 4-3-2 going into that. He's not best pleased about it. Can anybody tell? Can anybody tell which way that the actual final results may have finished? Because Pete sat there with a smug old grin. Link looks like he wants the earth to just swallow him up.
I'm fine here. I want to swallow you two up.
Nommy. Let's move on to the main brands and SummerSlam and the lead up to SummerSlam. Obviously, we had a match that wasn't at SummerSlam, but we've had a title change.
Yep, just before.
Would you like to lead on with that, Pete?
Yeah. Jeff Hardy picking up his IC title.
That's his 5th reign?
Yeah. 5th.
Wow.
Another match I really enjoyed, to be honest. But mind you, you're not going to get a bad match with Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles.
Well, they're both phenomenal.
No.
You know, well, I mean, you can't say you're not going to have a bad match with Jeff Hardy because Victory Road.
You definitely can.
But them two together.
You can't have a bad match with a sober Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly sober. Well,
No, so
wow.
It kind of, the IC title started to go a bit stale for me. A little bit. So having this bit of a battle has been quite good. And it's not when AJ ain't going to give up like that. So carry on for a little bit.
For me, the frustration it is with the IC title, though, they've had 2 title changes in the last few months, and neither have been on a pay-per-view.
So I'm just going to talk about the elephant in the room, which, well, I mean, it's not in the room; it's more in the abyss.
I love it. I love the character coming back.
I'm so glad Joe Park Esquire is now on SmackDown. I mean, relatively regularly. He's now AJ Styles' associate or something. I don't really understand. It's like he's an accountant. It was weird, but
he's statistician.
Hopefully it goes somewhere, you know, and we get some sort of little payoff, maybe a match, maybe something, because the guy deserves it, you know.
Yeah.
As dumb as Abyss, as dumb as he is, genuinely, what an idiot. Like, come on. The guy turned down the main event of WrestleMania against The Undertaker, where he was planned to beat The Undertaker to stay in TNA.
Loyalty, though, I suppose. It's loyalty.
No, that's dumb.
Yeah, that is not smart. In all fairness,
that is dumb.
But yeah,
he's someone I want to like.
I thought to be fair, his days would be over. Obviously, because he came in to be producer and he signed the producer role, and everyone was like, "Well, that's that."
Yeah.
But
I'm happy for him even doing that, because it meant that he was part of a big. I was happy for him even doing that, because it meant he was doing something that he was still in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
You know, they were trying to use him still, which, you know, he had no part of the company before that, so he had no rights as such to be part of the company, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think to be fair, even a lot of the WWE, I don't like using the word, but WWE marks probably wouldn't have even known who he is, in all fairness, the ones that only follow WWE and nothing else. But obviously Abyss was my era of TNA. So the fact that if he had come across, I would have been straight across to actually watch WWE rather than TNA back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to see all of that. To be fair, the ones that didn't have an actual match on the show of SummerSlam. Literally the one I could not give 2 hoots about. Apollo Crews MVP, United States Championship. Past caring about that. Anything else to add on that, lads?
So I kind of like the Hurt Business, and the problem with that is that the Hurt Business are the heels in this, and Apollo's the face. But every time that happens, and it ends up in like a 3-on-1 situation, I'm cheering on the Hurt Business because I think Apollo's crap. Like, he's genuinely just a pile of hot garbage. And
yeah, I don't disagree with Apollo on that one, to be fair. But yeah, I'm not a fan of MVP. I watched him wrestle locally to me like 3 or 4 years ago, and he looks slow and old.
He is, no doubt. But like Apollo's, the thing is with MVP, he's a talker. He was supposed to retire. He only came back to do that one Rumble appearance.
Yeah.
For his kid, and then he was asked to stick around to do a little bit of talking on the show. And then he retired. He genuinely said, "I've retired. I'm done."
Yeah.
He didn't wrestle. They've kept throwing him more and more and more. Like, go on, go do it, go do it, go do it. Yeah, so you can't be mad at him for that, because at the end of the day, if they're throwing stuff at him, he's going to go.
No. I'm not saying I'm mad at him for it. I just it makes me really uninterested in the whole situation.
The thing is, like, he's a great talker, though. He really is a great talker.
Yeah, but the problem is
thing
again
like-
that he's been put with somebody else that I cannot stand in Bobby Lashley, and that's put me off that situation again straight off the bat. So you add MVP that he should have been wrestling, he was wrestling, and he's past it. You put in Bobby Lashley, who I can't stand, and that puts me off it straight away. It doesn't matter who they're wrestling. That's
But
it.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But the thing is, I dislike Bobby Lashley because he's got zero personality.
Yeah.
And I dislike MVP because he can't wrestle.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
The thing for me, though,
It makes sense to put them together. It's literally a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
And it
For me,
is. And even when they did the whole thing with the Raw Underground, they went and took over that. I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pete.
we both did it.
I think the only thing for me, MVP is making Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Apollo Crews relevant.
Yeah.
Without him, I couldn't care about any of those three. It's that one man that's holding that whole thing together.
Could you imagine this storyline without MVP in it?
Oh, wouldn't that be bliss? Maybe they would just fizzle out and it wouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah. He's making four wrestlers.
The United States belt would drift off with it as well, with Apollo going.
He's making 4 characters relevant. Or 5, because you're looking at people like Cedric Alexander. You're looking at people like Cedric Alexander wouldn't get a look in. None of those guys would get a look in if it ain't for MVP carrying the storyline for me.
I hate Apollo Crews. I hate his gimmick.
I hate his gimmick. But you can't
literally
fault.
just a smiley man. Like,
you can't
that's all
fault the
he
fact
ever did.
he has actually got some talent in terms of ability. He just can't do it without a smile, though.
He's great in the ring. He's great in the ring.
He just can't do it without a big old smile.
And then stands up and he's still grinning, and it's like me. Learn how to sell.
He just loves what he's doing, man. Leave the guy alone.
Your whole job is to make your opponents look good. And they're going to batter the crap out of you, and you're going to get up and grin about it.
Hey, I feel great.
Get out of it.
Never know. Could make him smile. Could be a bit of a weirdo. And on that note, first women's match of the night, Bayley Asuka. What do we think of the whole lead up of the Bayley Asuka Sasha Banks storyline leading up into this?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no mate. Pete, have you got anything else to say?
Thought it was great.
Yeah, it was.
It's pretty much what we predicted, wasn't it, Dan?
It was, funnily enough, that whole thing, and we might as well see them as a pair, to be fair, even though they're separated. We might as well do them as a pair. Bayley, me and Pete both predicted that Bayley would win.
With help, some kind of help
With
from
help from Sasha, and then Bayley would try and repay the favour in some way in the night and cost her. I say cost her. It wasn't necessarily a cost, but obviously
distraction.
It maybe didn't help.
Look, my prediction was better, and you know it was.
Yeah, mate. If Asuka had come out Asuka 2 belts, I would have been chuffed to bits, regardless of whether I got my predictions wrong. Mainly because I would have still beat you.
I would have been doing punishment as well. That's the problem.
Oh, Link. But yes, I agree. Asuka should have come out as Asuka 2 belts. To be fair, Asuka could have come out Asuka 2 belts. Bayley and Sasha still had the tags. And then Asuka had gone and fought somebody else, and actually we could have had it spread out across rather than 3 people. Because as things have been for the last 2 or 3 years, I cannot stand Sasha. She's by far the worst female.
We're talking about Sasha's match now, yeah?
Eh?
We're talking about Sasha's match now.
Just as the pair, mate, really.
So
it's all one storyline, let's be fair.
Can we mention a little stat there? I'll let Pete mention it because he's the one who pointed it out. But yeah.
Wow, I think actually it was one of our viewers on our on our Twitch stream actually.
It was Pete.
Okay. So Pete, do you want to say the numbers? See if you remember.
Sasha has now had 3 title reigns lasting 27 days, wasn't it?
Bingo. Then plus she had 2 more.
Was it a 20-day reign?
Yes, and the shortest one of
an 8-day reign.
Bingo. She has had less than 4 months as champion in WWE since coming up from NXT, minus her tag championships.
I mean, more importantly, she has never held a belt for a month. Not even 1 month.
Not even to be kind to her. She's not even held it for February, so she's not even held it for 28 days. That's being kind.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. She can't even manage a full cycle.
And she is Mrs. Botchamania for me at the minute. There's literally nothing else but botch after botch after botch in every match I've seen her wrestle since.
She is pretty bad.
Since maybe February last year.
So for me, I don't know if it's the move of the night or not, because I don't know if it was deliberate or what.
Yeah.
But that all made us go.
Yeah. Just think of that.
Sunset flip powerbomb to the outside, and I cringed so hard it must have took me about 10 minutes to get my breath back.
In fact, I will insert our reactions now.
Wow. Oh.
Oh. Oh my Christ.
Oh, me.
My stomach went.
She's getting come back up.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think she did catch her head. I did think she caught her lower back.
I'm out. Oh, mate.
That was horrible.
That was grim. So you can see how bad, we freaked. We're sat there. Link is struggling for a good 5-10 minutes after, that clip could have carried on. 5-10 minutes of our reaction.
Still uncomfortable just thinking about it.
The thing that gets me is they're pairing up with Bayley, and I'm actually going to stick with this, but watching Bayley for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I'm actually starting to like her a little bit more.
Zero stick with me on that. I think Bayley's doing really good recently.
That's just wrestling bringing her down, because this is where Bayley could shine at the minute, and it's just becoming a bit. I know I'm going to watch the session match, and it's going to be like, what's going to happen in this one? We had it at Extreme Rules. Yeah. It was some crazy bits, and yeah, it's annoying because, like I said, I'm really enjoying Bayley's stuff at that.
Yeah, I do actually like Bayley as a heel, and I know a lot of people give stick because they cannot give WWE a chance to lead out a storyline. But yeah, I think the three of them they've put on some really poor matches recently altogether.
Can I just say before we move on as well?
Yeah, of course, mate.
Sorry, Dan.
Sorry, Dan.
I know how much editing you're going to have to do to get that clip in here because we swore a lot when that happened.
No, it'll be all right, mate. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
You may not be able to hear us during that clip because it will just be beep, 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 beep.
I've just muted the whole thing. I'm sure I've just muted the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think anyone that watched it would have had the same reaction as we did, though.
It was bad.
Well, you saw our chat. We will, on our Twitch, we've had ridiculous support this weekend, and we would like to say our thanks again for the amount of people that pops in, especially from EWC.
Who I am now an admin for.
And Pete is. Pete's still currently admin.
He's still admin, Pete.
He's still admin on the group.
I have noticed.
And I'm former admin. But you saw in the chat that he just went, WTF, WTF. Yeah. What the hell? And it's just like, that was either...
It had an impact.
The thing was, it was either the best move of the night or the worst move of the night. And I cannot work out which one it was.
There's not many moves I can remember that made my stomach turn, but that one did.
Yeah, that was bad. That actually had more of a reaction to me. So obviously, I watch a lot of wrestling. Like, I know you guys don't, but I watch pretty much everything. So I watched the Gargano versus Timothy. No, Gargano versus whatever that rugby guy name is. I can't think what his name is now.
Bronson Reed?
No.
No, he's
he wasn't on Takeover. He wasn't on Takeover. He's one of the newer guys in NXT, and you've probably seen the clip. It was a general takeover, but he literally dropped Gargano straight on his head, like straight.
Oh yes.
It was bad.
And it had that vibe last night, didn't it?
The Sasha Banks. I reacted more to the Sasha Banks thing.
Fair.
And yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. There's a match I don't even want to cover because it's the whole storyline is so appalling. Raw Tag Team Championships.
Next.
Yeah, agreed.
I didn't mind this one because this gave me the point.
In fact, yeah. Was it? Oh, Pete, you were the only one that actually guessed that one. To be fair, because Angarza didn't win.
That's what I mean. It gave me the point on our predictions.
We're not calling them Angarza. Okay?
We are calling him Angarza. Hashtag Angarza in the comments. I'm gonna do it.
Dan was so proud of that.
There's gonna be a woman called Anne somewhere whose surname is Garza, and she's gonna be like, "Why is everyone talking about me?" Just no.
I will try and find her and add her to the group later.
I guarantee there's going to be some sort of screenshot pop up on one of our sites or something in the future, and it will be just someone randomly messaging someone on a Facebook page saying, "I remember when you won the Raw Tag Team Championships."
Let me make a quick note.
I mean, technically they didn't. Street Profits won.
Well, no, I'm on about in the future. It'll be like when Paul Lascelles gets messages from people saying, "I remember when Mankind got thrown off you." Like, just leave the poor people alone. It's not their fault that their mother named them Teresa Green. Okay?
Dan.
Yes, mate.
Angarza works.
Angarza.
It does work.
It does. Thank you very much. It's Andrade, Angel. It's Garza. Angarza. I like it. Right now, this is the one that is like.
Wait. The Vega Boys.
Team up with Luke's house party. We've got an entrance and off.
Oh Jesus. So move on to the real sour taste, not through anything of their fault, but the Mandy Rose Sonya Deville match was actually a decent match, to be fair. As a match of its heart on the whole, I actually quite liked it. But the fact is, it was never about that.
Look, there was a bitter taste in my mouth from the very start of this.
It was irrelevant, I think, how the match went and how much they put into it and how good it was as a whole, because we knew that one of them was leaving.
My biggest criticism to all of this was Otis. Like, that was just poor taste. Like, anybody that follows wrestling at all knew what's happened, and to watch some big greasy guy come out and start pretending to do a worm because his pretend girlfriend's won a match in which her best friend that's just been stalked by some psycho.
It's not even at that point. It's not even stalked, though, is it? It's
no,
past,
but they're not fans. And then anybody that tells me that it's what fans do.
They're criminals.
It's the same with the people that go off and stalk them in airports and things like that. That's not a fan.
Even hotels, waiting outside hotels. Some people do it. I couldn't do something like that.
Yeah,
that's their time.
That's what people that are obsessed do. That's what stalkers do. It's inappropriate. It's wrong.
It's illegal.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm one of these people. If I see him out on the street, I'd even be a bit feel bad about going up and asking for a picture.
It's one of those things. If you saw him in the street, you maybe look at them. If they look at you, you sort of acknowledge them.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of
There's
thing.
a time and a place. Yes, their time. it's a job.
And to be
I
fair,
know they're in the public eye, but it's still their job, and they deserve their private time. And
well, that's it. If you accidentally bump into them on the street,
and you acknowledge that you know their presence, and they give you the reaction that actually it's probably okay to approach him at this right minute, that's fine. Then that's completely fine, yeah. But as a whole, even if you see any celebs in the street, just give them their space. They don't always want to be in the public eye.
Let's be honest. If you're the sort of person that's looking at what hotel these people are staying in when they come to your town, or you're looking at what flights they're probably going to be on so that you can go and sit in an airport lobby and wait for them to come off, go away. Just close this video and go away.
Yeah.
I don't want to know
you.
You're a piece of...
Go on, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, mate. It's me that's got to do the editing.
The only thing I will say is sometimes Vince can go a bit out there with storylines.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping...
This wasn't a storyline.
No,
he's not saying that. He's saying that
she's going... Hopefully, she's going to be having a break, which I completely understand. But the whole WWE leaves forever for... The loser leaves WWE for good. Hopefully that's going to be a storyline. And let her have a break and maybe come back.
I mean, they've kind of written it out in there when you think about it, because obviously on SmackDown just before, Mandy was like, can we just put this behind us, call the match off? You know, I miss my friend.
We should have...
I think to close the door permanently, it's one of those things I think they should do. Look, in the future, if we do want to, more than welcome. We're not going to close the door completely.
The thing is, like, I'm not Sonya's biggest fan. I'm not going to pretend like, I've always loved her work. She's been the best wrestler ever. That's not the case at all. It's just the way it's happened that I'm annoyed with. However, I do have some interesting stats. So, apparently the main reason that it was changed from a hair versus hair match to a loser leaves the company match, obviously other than to give her time off or, potentially to let her go, was because of the court case that's pending. Her solicitors told her that any drastic change in her appearance could affect what's happening in court.
Yeah.
That's according to, it was something along those lines from Dave Meltzer.
Not that we take Dave Meltzer as gospel.
We don't take him as gospel, but let's be honest.
He's a lot of the time.
Got some insights there, so
I disagree that he gets it right a lot of the time. But yeah, it certainly makes sense. That's for sure. Yeah. Dave Meltzer's not what he used to be. Let's leave it at that.
Another interesting stat for you as well was Sonya Deville's 11th pay-per-view match in her entire career. Does anybody know how many of those matches she's won?
It's going to be low, clearly. 0. I was going to go 1 or 2, maybe.
No. She is 0 for 11.
That's what you put in our group chat earlier. I
just don't want him to close the door completely. I think it's unfair for her, even if she turned around and said, "Look, I went out completely." It's very, very raw at the minute.
Yeah.
Let's just don't close the door completely.
In a weird way, I beg something happens on Friday night at SmackDown, and actually that there's payback. In fact, there could be a reason that they had Otis, because Otis came in, so there was no chance of a goodbye. But what if they make it double or nothing type thing? So they do another loser leaves, but then they both leave. Mandy and Sonya both take time out because Sonya beats Mandy on Sunday. Devil's advocate. But I'm sort of hoping something does happen on Friday.
I just want to see it go somewhere and not end like this completely.
Yeah, it's really horrendous one. But
so let's have a laugh about it while we're here anyway. Let's laugh at the fact that Mandy Rose couldn't put the table up. Like that was
bingo.
Like I don't care. That was great.
Have we seen the meme of John Cena putting her in the Walls of Jericho?
Yes. Yeah, because I posted it.
Oh, was it you that posted it? Even more ideal. I'll stick that up in. I'll stick that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite funny. It was probably the worst worm I've ever seen in my life. and
I've got to admit, it worried me
ones.
because when I realised Otis was there, and I thought, please, let's not see him again.
Yes, yeah, because that was a good point actually. That we knew he was at SummerSlam and we were thinking, don't cash in, don't cash in, don't cash in, don't cash in. We'll move on to match 5 of the entire show. Seth Rollins.
One more thing about the Mandy Sonya thing.
What you want now, boy?
The table sliding with the chairs.
What? Yeah.
Sliding chairs across the table at each other so that they would have come out of their face at the exact same angle that Matt Hardy got smacked in the face with a chair by Sammy Guevara like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, nice one, WWE.
Probably a coincidence, but...
Yeah, so sorry, the match 5 of the night, one that's had an interesting build-up in terms of storylines. It's not one that's gone, oh, I'm really looking forward to that one. But I've been intrigued by it, which was Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio. I was always intrigued about what could happen, what Dominic Mysterio might do. On the whole, it was probably more closer to being disappointed than happy about it.
Bad, but...
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but like we said, with, what's his name? Pat McAfee. There was a damn sight more wrestling in that match than there was in the street fight. Do not get me wrong, I think that's why they did the street fight. Yeah. There's obviously a lot of things that he's probably still raw with and learning.
I think it was to tell the story as well. Like, you know, it had to be more brutal, I guess.
Yeah, because it'd be hardly convincing if Dominic Mysterio went in to wrestle Seth Rollins and beat Seth Rollins clean, would it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think if that happened.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious what was going to happen to Playback. There's going to be some kind of tag match. That wouldn't be happening. And everyone wants to see a tag match with Ray and Dominic. There'll be a passing of the mask. I think that'll be Ray's final match. And I
don't think he'll be at Payback. I don't think Ray would call his career at Payback. I think he'd be more likely to maybe call it on one of the bigger 4, to be fair.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, do not get me wrong.
I think it's a good time. Yeah, I just think it's a good time with Dominic now stepping up and they're going to do a handover of the mask. I don't think you'll see Ray completely disappear, but I don't think you'll see him in another match. I think we're a tag match and it's just the right time to hand over them. Personally, for me, I think there's not much Ray can come in and do now.
No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
He's done everything for us to do.
Yeah. I just don't want to see, like I was saying last night, I don't want to see the mask on Dominic's head until Ray's done. For me. I would rather, it's an actual symbolic thing, the passing off the mask.
I was quite happy for him to come out with the mask on last night, because then he'd have been wrestling every match he's been in a mask, which...
Would have made sense, yeah. Do not get me wrong, that would have made sense. That would have made sense. But, yeah, I'm just talking for me.
I think you're... Bit of a bold prediction, but I think you'll end up seeing Ray without a mask and Dominic with maybe in his corner for a few matches.
Yeah.
That seems a fair shout.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we've obviously had the whole Orton storyline leading up to the Drew Orton match last night.
So much build.
Pete.
Yeah.
I had called this so long ago.
This gutted me. It
was pretty much, am I wrong to say, it's probably since the start of the heel project?
Yeah. It's something I've been thinking about for ages. This would have been the perfect match for me. Something I want to see. I thought Orton would storm this. I thought he'd be taking the belts to Mania, and then you'll have Edge, Orton again, a headline in Mania. The match they should have been having at SummerSlam.
There wasn't one match, not one.
There wasn't one finisher, no, exactly. This for me was probably the most disappointing match of the entire weekend.
Because it had some fantastic build-up, and the match was one of the worst, I think, on this card, which guts me to say.
The only thing that's in its positive corner, I guess, is that they had. I mean, it may not be the result you want, but it was a definitive winner.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So when Sasha won it, was it like it wasn't definitive that she won it because Bayley counted her a bloody count at the last pay-per-view? For example, is what you mean? Yeah.
Well, yeah. There was no shenanigans or anything. It was definitive. Like it was a fair loss. Like he won.
He won with a backslide. Yeah.
Like, but I don't understand why they did that when they've got things like Retribution going on, and obviously Retribution had a promo package last night and everything else. They did nothing.
And if
nothing.
Correct. If they wanted to keep Drew with the title, then I think that Retribution should have come out
and interfered.
And then actually, because I still think that they're going to do Drew Randy again next week.
I do too.
Yeah. A payback because it was a backslide. It's a legitimate move. It's a legitimate pin. But I think it's probably going to go again for next week. I think that was the whole. I don't know. I still can't work out why they've done payback.
No, I know exactly why they did what they did.
Why they've done a payback for next week?
No, why they had that match end like it did.
Okay.
You didn't see that coming.
Oh God, yes, God.
The thing is, for me, they've made Orton look amazing with the whole Legend Killer gimmick again. They built him up to be as best as Orton can be again, and then you make him lose with roll up. It's just like,
yeah. What they've actually done is they've actually made all the legends that he's taken out look really, really weak.
Well, apart from Shawn Michaels, who just got up from a pump kick.
Yeah, just that.
That killed it. But the thing is Orton's looked so good, and you've just destroyed that whole build-up for the last 6 weeks over nothing. Like you said, have something go wrong, run-ins, whatever. Do something. It makes them both look still strong.
Yeah. I mean, that match could have literally ended with both of them just getting beat up by Retribution.
And it would have been legitimate, even because it would have been the perfect way for them for Drew to keep the title.
Well, I mean, there's enough of the Retribution as well that they could have had the finisher. Could have had a bit of a finisher fest. You could have had Randy pop off a couple of RKOs, a couple of Claymores from him as well. Just left, right, and centre. Finisher before they got overwhelmed.
But either way, it would have ended up in a no contest, wouldn't it? Because obviously they'd have interfered. It would have gone to a.
Because it's not that there was any stipulation of any full counter or anything like that.
It was a standard match.
So they just ruined it, I think.
Yeah.
I just think they put off the gas for some reason, and it done me in.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
This is something that we do as wrestling fans. We jump the gun and we criticise things before they've played out. So maybe there's something interesting coming up. Let's see what happens. Let's see what they're doing. Whether they've got a plan.
There's obviously something going on for it to be payback next week. They wouldn't put payback in just because, unless it is because they just want to use the Thunderdome.
Well, the only match I can think of that's currently booked for payback is the women's tag match.
Yeah, and that's the only one that's actually on actually, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we'll find out tonight because they've got to book every match pretty much tonight, haven't they?
So you will.
They're going to be amazing this week. They've got to be.
Yeah. So we're currently recording this on a Monday night, by the way, everybody. So
a couple of hours before.
You may not see it till Tuesday.
You definitely won't see it till Tuesday.
You won't see it till Tuesday. But it's we've not seen Raw yet. You guys will have seen Raw, so you'll know what's going on better than we will at this point. Sorry. Well done, you smart ass. Tell me in the comments why you're better than us.
Final match of the night, one that would have gone on long, could have gone on longer as an actual match. It only went 12 minutes.
Was this the match I had different from both of you two?
No, you went Bray and Link went Bray as well, but you needed Bray to win.
That was why I needed Bray to win to draw level with you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I'd be doing a punishment otherwise with Link. That was right.
Yeah. So I the whole Bray Braun. He's whipped out the knife. Although don't actually whip it out. I don't think YouTube like that.
No. Why?
Yeah. So the whole Bray Braun Wyatt family, old school Wyatt family thing. I've really liked the storyline as a whole.
Bring back Eric Rowan.
Well, I would rather they brought back. They signed back Luke Harper, but that's gone.
we will get onto that actually because there's an interesting bit. But
yeah.
I think last night it wasn't a bad match for me. The only thing that I was a bit disappointed with, we've been spoiled, I think, with Bray Wyatt and his cinematic matches.
Yeah, since the start of lockdown, yeah.
Yeah, and then last night it was a plain match, so there was no effects as such. There was no Alexa Bliss. I think we've been spoiled so much like that.
Yeah, there was no mystique. There was no mystique about it, and it felt like Bray was Bray wearing a mask. It didn't feel like the Fiend.
Yeah. This is where his cinematic storylines have been amazing.
I read a really interesting tweet earlier on. I'm trying to find it, but I don't think I'm going to. So I may have to just tell you what I think it said.
Yeah, you crack on, mate. You can misquote slightly. It doesn't make a difference.
So essentially, what they were saying. In fact, I know who it was that said it now. So give me a second because I may be able to find it. I would show you my screen, but my Twitter is it's not a clean place. That's
the cinematic stuff's been really, really good, and Bray's been on top form for me. Like I say it so many times. I say it every time I talk about him. The man, everything the man touches turns to gold for me.
Yeah, he's probably got the best brain in terms, like, you obviously talk about footballers with the best brain, but I would say Bray has the best brain for wrestling. It's
he's the kind of person I would say once he gives up, give him a storywriter's job, because he's been heavily involved in all storyline stuff, and it's some of the best stuff they've done in years for me.
Yeah, he knows where the next step is before anybody else does.
Yeah.
Like I say, the fact that he even had the Fiend for this long before he even brought it out, I think says a lot.
They said though, didn't they say if you go back to his very, very early stuff, as soon as he come into it, he's talking about the Fiend then, and when the Fiend first came out.
When I think this was, I may be wrong, I think this is when he was actually doing his training, and then they packaged him as Husky Harris, I think. Yeah. It may have even been after he went back and then repackaged as Bray. It was one of the two, but they were saying that there was talks of him having this. I don't know if they were calling it the Fiend at that point, but there were certainly talks of similarities of what's become the Fiend.
But to even have clues of the Fiend, what he was going to be, and this whole build-up we had when no one really knew. They were saying if you go back to the Wyatt promos, he was talking about all in there, and I'm like, wow, this is stuff from years ago.
Yeah.
So he's spaced this out perfectly.
Yeah. Have you any luck with that tweet?
I have got the tweet in front of me right now. So it's a Baron Corbin tweet.
Oh.
And, the guy's pretty switched on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Internet fans cannot be pleased, no matter what. They say wear blue, you wear blue, they hate blue. Why would you wear blue? We want this. Okay, here. We hate that. And that is literally what it's like. So anything that we ask for, they give us, and then we complain about it.
Yeah.
It's happened over and over and over again. And to be honest with you, it's why it really annoys me when I see comments on things about WWE where they're like, do you know what? They should fire Vince and they should get someone else. And it's like, Vince doesn't listen to us. He's out of touch. It's like, the WWE fans don't know what they want.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, to be fair.
I tell you now, you get a lot of fans that say this, but then put it this way: what happened at the end of this match shows Vince knows exactly what he's doing. Oh. He can get the biggest pop from nothing, and he showed it in this. And I see it like. Did you see the clip of him going off the balcony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shared that as well.
But to go at that age to do something like that, mate, you've got more love for this business than any fan. To still be doing that at that age, mate, no one's got more passion for this business than him, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned.
Happy birthday, Vince.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday.
No,
Yeah.
Well,
No, yesterday.
today as we're recording.
But yeah, that it does bug me. Sometimes I think, like, really, has he made this? Has he done this right? There's not a time I've gone, yeah, but he's made a right merit, because it normally works out quite good. And even if it is broken, that man will find a way of fixing it.
He'll find a twist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, even things like the hacker stuff. Like,
you're not going to get it right every time. No one.
They scrapped it, and everyone's like, "Oh, but now Ali's jobbing." It's like, yeah, but so
he would have seen that and gone, "Do you know what? It's not working the way I want it to. Let's not upset everyone by just going through with it. Scrap it. We'll do something else."
The sad thing is, going on that Ali, the sad thing is he missed his point by being injured on that Elimination Chamber, didn't he?
Yeah. And Kofi Kingston took his place and ended up winning the title.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. You've missed your chance, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, I think the fans just need to move on from the fact that he was being pushed at one point. Yeah, but like so was a lot of people. Bloody Ryback was being pushed, and obviously he's talks about it being one of the most awkward and hard people to work with in ring, because he's just not safe. But
that's the wrestling business. Like,
yeah.
You know.
On the Bray, the Bray
and things, but it's just not going to happen. Like,
yeah. On the
the
Bray Braun match, though.
Sorry, yeah.
That finish was meh. The fact that you were saying on the live stream that, well, people say the mat's padded, and then he's pulling it back, and it's what, that thick?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not a lot. And so the fact that he's then did, what was it, Sister Abigail?
Yeah.
Onto the wood. Like,
what?
To Braun Strowman, that would probably feel not very much like any different.
No, not really.
So the
but
fact
also Strowman lost to like one F5 at one point as well, remember?
Yeah, that is where the writers can't seem to make their mind up whether Braun's going to kick out of a couple or if he's just going to be weak as
yeah,
pitch.
Strowman seems like he's got a glass jaw. I don't know if that's a thing that they're going to put into storylines in the future, but he does seem to get put down pretty easily, to be fair. He's a bit of a monster. It's hard to get him to the point where you can put him down, but once you put him down, he's done. Like,
yeah, basically it was one bit of foam's difference of winning and losing.
Yeah, for me, this match, no matter what happened at the end, it was going to get overshadowed.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do have a new champion, or a new Universal Champion.
I think that had to happen. That had to happen because the way the Fiend lost last time, and then if he come back, one of the first storylines again, to lose again, I think it would have been a bit. You just
I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but I will point out as well, though, that the Fiend's just turned face.
Yeah.
Strowman just turned heel.
Strowman's turned heel, Fiend's turned face, and then, right, let's actually mention him, because we've just said about the ending. Roman Reigns is back. And
Roman Reigns! The big dog!
I know a lot of people dislike Roman Reigns, but I've never ever disliked him. He's always been one that I've actually been a fan of. All right, some of his promos have been diabolical.
Yeah.
But I really like Roman Reigns. And I think everywhere, some deep down, everybody liked something about Roman Reigns. Because the pop that he had, just on our live stream, just between me, Pete and Link, plus all the other people we had in our Twitch stream, the pop was real. No one went, oh, what's he doing back? No one saw this coming. Literally, this is the actual storyline. What's the line? Because I'll get it wrong.
You won't see this coming, or
and we didn't. We did not see Roman Reigns being back this early after shielding from being out because of his previous issues with leukemia.
I'm personally worried that it's too soon, but
well, it's only him and his doctor that know.
Reigns for me is a Monday Cena. It's someone that everybody loves to take, but they actually like him. And all anyone's wanted for years and years and years is Cena to turn heel. We've never got it.
And it's been the same with Roman.
That's why everyone started screaming for Reigns. And it looks like it could happen.
So, predictions, guys. Do we think Reigns is heel now? Or do we think that they're not? Because it was, was it wreck everything, leave, or something like that on his top?
Yeah, it was wreck everyone.
Wreck everyone. So it wasn't even everything. It's specifically people.
Yeah. What I would love, I doubt it's going to happen because it's never. Vince isn't this kind to me. I would love Retribution to be part of Roman Reigns coming back, and you might not see him in the ring full time straight away because it might be a bit too early. But having some kind of him leading Retribution, I think it would be brilliant.
I mean, it would certainly make Retribution relevant. Let's be fair. Sorry, mate. The thing is, I mentioned that on the stream last night, and the fact is, it would get comparisons to that all the time if that happens. It's the same if like Barrett was revealed as the thing, because obviously it's the same as the Nexus. I think it would still make it relevant.
Yeah, I think that was really bit. Nexus could have gone so much further than they did. That got spoiled for me, and it's one of those. Would they do it differently? There's going to be similarities. You're going to have similarities to storylines down the line somewhere. It's been a long time since.
Yeah.
Just wondering if they. I can't see Retribution going too far unless someone's leading them. And what a person I want to come back to do it if it did happen.
I don't think it'll be an unknown. That if there's like a definitive leader, I don't think it'll be an unknown.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anybody from outside of WWE. Because realistically, I can't think who it would be. It's either going to be somebody within WWE or I don't know. I was going to say a legend, but I don't even think it will be a legend. To be fair.
Tell you what I'd like to see. Not Roman Reigns again. That'd be it. Just gone. He comes back in like 6 months' time. Literally arrives, wrecks people, leaves.
I went to see I went to see him at a live show, the O2, and I heard that name get booed. And this was around that time when everyone was sick of him, and this happened before the storyline, before he went away, and then before he got ill and went away. It was about 3-4 months before that, and the pop last night made me go, wow. Look, I think he's needed at the minute, I think. This has been needed for a while. And we was actually talking on stream last night about when he could come back, and we was like, yeah, it's going to be a year or so at least.
In fact, one of our followers even mentioned it, and I said to her, I said, nah, can't see it. And you both agree with me. And the fact that it happened at the end of the night, I was like, yeah. And even then, our reactions was nuts for that.
Brain's laughing out loud.
Sorry?
I'm saying she even put Roman Reigns laugh out loud.
Yeah, it was. I think it was maybe even a joke comment.
Yeah.
It was. I'm not going to name names actually, just in case. But
no,
yeah.
don't say. I knew damn well who it was.
But yeah, she messaged me earlier on as well about it. She was pretty happy.
No, called it. Can't lie, called it.
If that Bray and Braun match ended the way it did, I would have been at the end of the pay-per-view a bit. Yeah, the last 2 matches kind of, but I went away going, wow.
Oh, it needed a big moment.
It was even the aforementioned person that we were talking about, not the female, the other one, was saying that how disappointing it was. They haven't watched wrestling in months, and the Drew McIntyre Randy Orton match, then followed by the Wyatt Strowman match, and we were like, we can't even argue with what's just happened, to be fair. And then Reigns comes out, and you're like, do you know what? That's saved it. That's actually saved the show, believe it or not. Roman Reigns with the spear, which also, by the way, is one of the best spears I've ever seen Roman Reigns perform.
And how good
it was beautiful, and he looked jacked. He looked jacked, didn't he? He looked like he was ready to go.
Did. Definitely did. Dan?
Yes, mate.
You have your computer in front of you.
I do.
We've just finished our review of SummerSlam.
Yep.
Can you look at the comments section from our last podcast, please?
Yeah, of course I can. So this is the competition. In fact, Link, would you like to explain whilst I'm trying to find it? Maybe easier.
So yeah, we've ran a competition on our last podcast. There was a secret word within the podcast, at which point we literally stopped the entire podcast, much like we're doing now, and went, the word is Heath, the word is Heath, the word is Heath. Type Heath in the comments, the word is Heath. So there's no reason you should have missed it if you watched it. Apparently people did. Hey-ho. But yeah, basically the people that wrote Heath in the comments on the last one have now got an opportunity to win a £20 mystery box from WrestleBox UK. I think I've got that right. I hope I've got that right.
Yes, you have, mate. Sorry, yeah.
So we are going to basically now, Dan's going to find a random number generator for us, and I'm sure he can find a way to do it and put it up on the screen for you in post-edit. But he will basically pick the winner from the YouTube comments and tell us which one of the hundreds and hundreds of entrants that entered that contest have won.
We had 2.
Okay, can you reveal to us now live who wins?
How? I'll need a name generator, won't I?
Yes, you will. Sorry, mate. I know. Didn't plan for this. So I've kind of put you on the spot a little. Sorry, everyone.
This is what I do best. Random.org.
Ooh, they do a line generator, so you can put names in that, can't you?
Mm-hmm. List randomizer. That'll do.
How many was there? 200?
Yeah. No, 2.
Oh.
Physically 2.
200. Yeah.
So we
200 entrants that watched
have
that
2
video.
chaps. One called Michael McCarthy and one called Nat Sutherland. Nat Sutherland.
Okay.
So I will do the random draw. I will. Oh, how can I record this one?
Drum roll.
We have Michael McCarthy, Nat Sutherland. There we are. Randomise. Whoever comes out first will win it. Good luck, guys. And it was Michael McCarthy. Congratulations, Michael.
Shoot us a message.
Yeah, shoot us a message and we will sort that out. Get all your address.
And happy birthday, Tony.
Oh, yeah, it's also his birthday today, isn't it? Of course.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's his birthday with Vince McMahon.
Oh, wonderful.
Dan, there's one more thing we'll talk about.
What's that?
Predictions at SummerSlam. I had a bit of a stormer. We covered NXT predictions. What was it, 4-3-2?
Yeah. So yeah, basically, guys, grand news. Me and Pete lost the last round of predictions. This one,
That was horrible.
me and Pete joint first, which means only Link has to do the punishment. We do not have a punishment yet. So if there is anybody watching, as we've said, for everywhere, throw some suggestions. This one is actually going to be maybe one that's going to be 2 or 3 months down the line for when we can all meet up, because it's the big one. It's NXT Takeover. It's SummerSlam. Let's make it big, shall we?
Actually, Link's idea and said, look, let's go all out for this one. For the big one, let's go all out.
Link did say it.
was
He
Link's
was the
idea.
one. I gave him 3 options, and he went with the one that actually made it worse for the loser. Guess what? Link's the loser.
Yeah, I said we should go for something big for this one because we've got another one in a week's time anyway, so we'll still have a punishment video coming out in a week, or just over a week, I guess, for you guys.
We said we'll save this one all together.
it means that once we're all together, because SummerSlam was a big thing, we can do a big thing, you know?
Yeah.
We won't all be together for the next biggest or the bigger pay-per-view, because the next bigger pay-per-view is obviously WrestleMania, and me and Pete will be there. But however,
I mean, are we just not counting Survivor Series Royal Rumble anymore then?
Well, they're not bigger. They're not bigger. So SummerSlam's the second biggest of the year.
Yeah. But I gotta say, I do prefer Rumble over SummerSlam.
I prefer Rumble over everything. Hence the reason I went for the Rumble.
Oh, did you?
You been to the Rumble?
I did go to the Rumble. I gave back to my spot. True story.
But yeah, I think so. That wraps us at the end. I gotta say, go on, Lenny. What have I missed?
Right, so that wraps us for WWE.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't watch anything else.
I don't
even follow anything else.
I'm going to do it. Okay, look, I'm not going to do it justice, and I apologise to the people that are massive AEW fans out there. I have been watching AEW. I've been enjoying AEW. I think the stuff with Darby Allin and Brian Cage and Taz and whatever the other guy's name is that's now with them. Sorry. I think that stuff's all been really good. I think this week especially, he came out in the face paint pretending to be Darby Allin, which was just different, something a bit unique. I will say the whole women's tournament thing that they've had going on, the fact that they did a tag team appreciation night 2 weeks ago, but then did a women's tag team tournament, but didn't put any of them on that show because they did it on a separate thing on Facebook. Was a bit
Facebook.
I don't even think it was. It might not have even been Facebook, but they did it online somewhere. But it was weird. Watching the Rock and Roll Express take a assisted pile driver was kind of interesting, though. Didn't see Ricky Morton taking that again. That was that was something.
I actually see that as well.
Revival or
didn't see any of that happen.
FTR, as they're now known. What else has been going on? I mean, the big one, which I was trying to build to and get to it last. You all know what I'm going to say. Brody Lee is the TNT champion after beating Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has finally stopped booking himself to win. I think that's fantastic.
He's just the new Jeff Jarrett.
Speaking of people booking themselves to win, Brandy Rhodes also lost in the final of the women's tag team tournament.
So if she was going to lose, why get yourself all the way to the final?
You know, I really enjoyed watching Brody Lee get that, because it's someone, when he come into it, he come in with a lot of hype and he done really well. And then he's just been, it seems to be he's put down and down and down. And I was like, do you know what, to come across with that hype and then to get kind of ruined, it really, really done me in. And now for him to get that spot, it's kind of like, right, this is what we want to see again. This is what we was excited to see when he first come across. What all the hype we've done.
AEW are doing right for me that I've always liked stables and wrestling within factions and stables.
If not,
and AEW seem to be doing a lot of factions and stables with the Dark Order, the Nightmare Family.
They're potentially a little bit over the top with how many, but yeah,
none of them are getting,
I agree.
None of them are getting pushed aside, which I really like. None of them are getting forgot about. And
I will say I don't need to see an 8-man tag match every week. I just don't need that. I don't need to see 2 random tag teams thrown together in a team every week. It just doesn't. It's not necessary. Some of the matches are crap. Like they just are. It's like watching development talent a lot, and not even like NXT Takeover quality, but more like just a weekly NXT with somebody new coming up. But I think a lot of that is down to me not knowing the wrestlers and needing to learn who they are and basically just being old and grumpy and not wanting to.
I'll be honest, it was like it. I was like when I first started watching NXT, and it took me a while to actually learn people like Ciampa and Gargano, and now I think they're brilliant. But it was like when I first watched it, I was like, really?
I would say it's not doing us a disservice to say, if you want AEW, we're probably not the channel to watch, because anyway, you're lucky if I watch WWE, to be fair. But
I'll continue to follow it. I'll continue to.
I think maybe it's something that we will certainly press on with and branch out to. But I hear you were watching Impact today. How was Impact?
Wow.
You know, I had really big hope for Impact, and now I just got bored of it straight away.
His reaction, like, what's this crap? What is this?
It was horse.
I prefer AEW a lot more than Impact.
Just a giant steaming pile of.
Wow.
It was bad.
Wow.
It was bad. They're basically doing the Legends House thing at the moment. So do you remember when WWE Network started and they did the Legends House and they had like Piper and Tony Atlas and Mean
Jimmy
Gene?
Hart was in there. Hacksaw was in there. Brilliant. I actually liked it.
I mean, it was interesting. It was kind of upsetting to see Piper's decline in his mental health while he was in there.
Yes.
But it was very at the time. It was really different. There was nothing ever like that before.
So they're now doing that in TNA or Impact. Sorry, because they're not TNA now. Again, or they are, or they're not because they've got the TNT. They don't even know what they are.
No, it's not what it used to be.
That's the thing. No. It was that unique at the time. That's why WWE didn't do another one. They've just done that one, and that was it.
So they're doing that now with Tommy Dreamer as the host in a house with a wrestling ring, and it's like watching an episode of EastEnders where every time they have an argument, it ends in a wrestling match. Like, genuinely, they're all in a house. They have like normal storylines, like, oh, and now I'm in love with you. Oh, yeah, it's soap opera crap, genuinely. And then they'll be like, oh, well, we're going to argue about this. Well, we only solve arguments in one way here. It's wrestling match time.
It's like Harry Hill. How do we solve it? Fight!
It just shows how important people
are. One way to find out.
Does it?
It shows how important people like Joseph Parker and that was to them guys over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It just shows how important they were because they were heavily involved in the writing anyway. And now Vince has brought them over. It definitely works.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not great. It's not great.
For sure. So on that note, I think we will sort of see out the podcast there, guys. What have I missed this time? From this angle, didn't he look like he was picking his nose?
Again, changing his mind again.
New tag champions? Was that since the last pay-per-view? And Big E's solo run?
I think it must have been. Yeah, it must have been because the Kofi got injured at Extreme Rules. Yeah. So yes, it wouldn't have been on this one, I think. We didn't know
the tag champions would have been at Extreme Rules, which is where Kofi got injured.
But he wasn't injured at the time, so the whole Big E storyline by himself, singles run, wouldn't have been mentioned.
So yeah, Big E seems to be WWE's almost facto leader on SmackDown at times at the moment to take on Retribution, which is kind of interesting to see. I had nothing else to add to that. I just thought I'd mention it, and the fact that Cesaro and
it's interesting though with that.
Kalisto's back as well.
Sorry,
Kalisto's back. He returned this month.
Wow, joys.
Yeah.
Saying that with Big E though, I've actually quite enjoyed his matches with Sheamus. Yeah, they're quite good matches, and they've been really, really good. Because it's good to see Sheamus back against another big guy like that.
Sheamus is doing really well on this current little run that he's on.
Considering the stuff with Jeff Hardy was
pretty good, not from the piss stuff, but everything else was good.
That was great. That was before the last pay-per-view, of course. But yeah, it's with Big E. It's a funny one because I saw an interview about him saying that there was like a point like. It was him or Roman that was going to be pushed, and they were told this in FCW. It was FCW, I think, wasn't it? Before I think it was.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, they were FCW when they got told. Yeah. Basically, they said, right, they gave each other this sort of, I think, task. See how you can get on. Well, basically, you're going to be the one that's going to be pushed. And Big E's come out and said that it was the right decision that Roman was the one that was pushed. It's just funny now.
At the time.
Sorry.
Big E wasn't ready at the time.
No, and of course that's what he says. But it's just sort of funny that now that Retribution are in, that he's the one that's now sort of almost leading the locker room with Roman.
I'd say he's ready now. Like he's got the personality. He's got himself. He knows what he's doing now.
He could have left. He could have left
a long way
New Day a long time ago if they weren't going to do it.
Yeah, he's come a really, really long way from the whole Ziggler time and
Big E Langston,
AJ Lee in the chest, and
Whoa, that one! Boof! She just smiled it off, and I was like, "How have you just done that? How have you just smiled that off? That must have hurt."
She's a monster, like the water woman. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
That may be another podcast, and that may not be on YouTube. So third time lucky, guys. I think we'll start rounding out the podcast. First of all, well done again, Tiny, for winning. Make sure you get into contact us if you see this, mate.
I mean, you post it, because I'm not going to send it you unless you contact us.
Yeah, you better see it.
So feel free to watch this. If you don't, then you're lost.
But otherwise, lads, I think we're going to be back for sort of this time next week.
Yeah.
We will have...
Well, no, we'll be back before this time next week.
Correct, because we'll have predictions. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have predictions sort of either Saturday or Sunday, one of the two. And
another live stream next weekend.
Yeah, and we'll be back. We'll be back live on our Twitch next Sunday. We sort of go live around the pre-show. It's not necessarily at the start of the pre-show. It's just basically whenever we can sync up with each other.
I mean, I'm just going to plug it as well because I'm here and I can. 8 p.m. Sunday.
Over on go on.
A weekly game show over on Twitch TV using a thing called Jackbox Games. You need nothing but a phone and your computer screen.
And a sense of humour.
There's no sign up. There's no downloads. Come and get involved. You need to have thick skin and you need to be over 18.
Correct.
That's the only stipulation I will add.
And just a good sense of humour.
Yeah.
Don't take anything we say as serious.
Trust me.
It's just
we get it given to us, trust me.
Yeah.
Some of it's bad, some of it's mean, some of it's just talking about things that we shouldn't talk about, really. And
correct.
The thing is, everyone walks away having a good laugh.
Yep.
Things that will beep a lot if I say it now. So
yeah, please, we'll move on from it. So guys, thank you very, very much for joining us again. We will be back for the next one. I think I've just spoke enough there, so that didn't come up actually on stream, on the video. But yeah, guys, thank you very, very much. We will see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace. You stole my line.